welcome back to the channel. My name is Katie, and I know you saw the title of today's video. Y'all, there are so many interesting things coming out with these unsealed documents, and this one, we're gonna get into. We's gonna talk about. Now, I want to warn you, now if you watch me routinely, this is not gonna be a surprise to you, but we're gonna do a deep dive into this. Gonna be a little long, gonna be a little rambly, but you're gonna get some information and points of view you're probably not gonna hear anywhere else. So buckle up, buttercup, we're about to have some fun. Also, I feel like I sound a little drunk. Do I sound a little drunk? I didn't get much sleep, and so next day, a lot of times for me, is a drunk day. So we'll see. We'll see how silly I sound in this. I even feel like saying my S's sounds weird. Maybe I used to be a classical singer when I was younger, so I'll get my enunciation on. Even enunciating is hard. Like, my face feels numb. Does that happen when you get drunk? Sound off in the comments, because I would not know, unfortunately. I wish I could just go get plastered. Anyway, let's talk. So here's the big info. We had a bunch of court documents unsealed. Now, Team Depp was pushing for this. Team Heard did not want these unsealed. And it's interesting because, as the media does, it is definitely painting Amber as the poor little victim in everything. Now, here's the other thing. We need, even though she's a turd, she is a turd. And I don't just say that because they call her Amber Turd. Like, I mean, that's what I call people. And my guy friends, my male friends, I call them Turd. I think it's funny because, remember South Park? Shelly, who is Stan's sister? What are you turkey doing? That's where I get it from, and it always makes me laugh. So I'm always like, what's going on, turd? But we know she's a turd. We know she lied. We know she's not a very good person, or she hasn't been. But it looks like, and this is the other thing we have to remember about people. There's multi-dimensions to people and multi-facets. And so, like, one thing we're learning, and I'll get into all these in other videos, she could have taken way more money from Johnny, and she didn't, and her lawyers pushed her to. But everybody's tried to make her out to be this gold digger. So, and again, that's a video for a whole nother day. And I want you guys to understand, I'm not defending her. I'm not saying I'm on her side. I'm saying my goal is to try to get people's minds open and have them look at information objectively and fairly. That's all. That's it. Just look at the information objectively and fairly. It's not, it's not always, well, actually, it's rarely a situation where it's black and white. And in these situations, it never is. But, sorry, I know it's a bit of a long intro. We're going to talk about Miss Turd because apparently she was an exotic dancer and an escort. Now, here's the thing, though. People are acting like this is a surprise. How is this a surprise? Everyone in Hollywood, that's most likely your first job, that and serving. Like, unless you were born into it and you come from money, that's what you do. But we're going to talk about it. But before we do, guys, if you're new here and you like content like this, you just want to giggle along with me because I just go through all the stuff in the mainstream news and giggle, and we get as much information as we can. We talk about it. Make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell. I would love to have you. As well, guys, I'm giving away a $100 gift card. I just gave away one yesterday, so I'll give one away next week. Let's see, it should be Monday, I think. It's really simple to be entered and eligible. This is all you got to do. Like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, watch the video from start to finish. Boom, you're entered, you're eligible. That's all you have to do, and do it for every video you see. The more likes, the more comments, the more shares, the more times you watch from start to finish, the more chances you have of being entered. So the more chances you have of winning, and my channel is still super small. I am still building. You have a good shot at winning, and it helps me, helps you. We all help each other, which is what I'm about on this channel. Good luck. Let's dive in and see exactly what Miss Turd did when she was younger. And I feel like I have finessed this computer enough. I've kind of gotten a system down. The mic isn't cutting out there. It will cut out when I shove it back. Maybe I should just be gentle. Maybe I should just get a new computer. Maybe that requires more money. It's all happening. Here we go. This is from Fox News. It says, unsealed Depp versus Heard court docs reveal Aquaman actress was an exotic dancer. Johnny Depp won a $10.35 million verdict June 1st in his defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard. Newly, I messed up the first word, the first sentence. Me and my drunk will get back. Newly unsealed court papers reveal that Amber Heard had a brief stint as an exotic dancer, and her ex-husband Johnny Depp did not want his friendship with disgraced rocker Marilyn Manson outed at trial. After Johnny Depp won his defamation case, Amber Heard, with a jury awarding him $10.35 million, Judge Penny A. ordered the release of the secret documents on July 13th. The documents were published online over the weekend by legal commentator Andrea Burkhart, who crowdsourced more than 3,300 to purchase the records. Thank you, Andrea, and thank you to everybody that did that. I saw that and I was like, I'm not paying that amount. I'm waiting. I think most of us were. The documents were published online over the weekend, and the court papers detailed the behind-the-scenes wrangling on both sides to try to get evidence admitted and keep out of the Fairfax County Circuit trial in Virginia. And it says, a March 22 motion outlined Heard's opposition to Depp's team attempt to present damaging information about her past to the jury. Heard's lawyer, Elaine Brendahoff, argued that Depp was trying to introduce irrelevant personal matters, including Amber's brief stint as an exotic dancer years before she met Mr. Depp. Pictures where she's not clothed, and unfounded allegations that she worked as a kind of like an exotic dance worker, but a step further, please infer. Intimacy worker, I'll call it. Nude pictures of Amber Heard or comments about exotic dancing or escort services would be highly distracting and unfairly prejudiced to the extent they portray Amber as a intimacy symbol to YouTube. I wish I could just talk freely instead of a women's rights activist against domestic A word, physically, mentally, emotionally, intimately not nice, Brenda Hoff wrote. Heard's team also fought to keep out Heard's sister, Whitney Henrique's reality show video. None of these personal matters were introduced in the trial. So it's interesting, let's talk about that. So first of all, I wonder the angle that Team Depp was going to have when it comes to anything in Amber's past about intimacy work, I'll call it. And then also with Whitney's reality show video. What they're leaving out here that I find interesting is I believe with that reality show Whitney did, it talked about Amber and the A-word stuff. And I think even Whitney kind of talked about Amber's A-word behavior. So yeah, I could see them not wanting that in there. But I do think it's funny that it would tarnish her image as a domestic A survivor. I'm sorry, who cares about your stupid image? This was all about you ruining a man's life to get that image. Maybe that image needed to be ruined because maybe it wasn't real. But that's the hard part, guys. We know she actually went through A-word with Johnny. And there's more stuff coming out. There's evidence coming out that says they were on a plane and Johnny unprovokingly kicked her in the head. Now, that's the thing. This is so complicated, though. Because and then apparently there are text messages later where Johnny admits to it. He says he's sorry. Now Team Depp can't find it, which is convenient. Again, you have to look at all of the information. So I do think she went through A-word with Johnny, but to what extent and how much did they do it to each other? So it gets complicated. It gets interesting. As well, he was on substances, but that's not an excuse. Not at all an excuse, but then was she supplying it to him? Which I kind of wonder if that was the case on some level. I don't know. I go back and forth. What do you guys think? I don't know. So, it says, let's go down, scroll. A 965-page motion filed March 28th also revealed crude text messages between Depp and Marilyn Manson that were never presented to the jury. And if I remember right, and we'll look and see what it says, but those messages were just kind of akin to Manson going, well, I have an Amber Heard on my hands. That's the thing, though, with what they're both going through. Yeah, of course they would be friends. I could totally see them linking up because they're going through something similar in Hollywood, or they're both being canceled. To me, not at all a surprise, but that's the other thing. So apparently Amber Heard has been said that she's friends with Evan Rachel Wood. How interesting that both and people have tried to paint, Evan Rachel Wood as a horrible person because of that. And that's the thing. Who knows if they're even friends? They have a couple of pictures together. In this, they're actually, Manson and Depp are texting. I will say the public opinion is very much on Depp's side and very rarely speaks about what Depp does. Even though, again, I'm not saying she didn't lie and she wasn't a turd. She sure was, and we can argue whether or not she deserves it. But I am saying the more information comes out, the more this situation gets trickier to look at. That's all. And so it says, Depp's attorney Ben Chu aggressively fought to exclude any reference to the actor's friendship with Manson, whose real name is Brian Warner, out of concern it would smear Mr. Depp under a guilty by association theory, which I can understand. And again, it's all about the image. So one side will say it's the image, and the other side, they're all trying to protect an image so they can, because at the end of the day, they're legally trying to paint a story and sell it. That's what they're trying to do, right? And that's both sides. Manson texted Depp in 2016 to say that Lindsay Usich, I don't know how to say that, pulled an Amber in reference to Manson's now wife, Usich, calling the cops on him and claiming he beat her up. He described her as Amber 2.0. Depp's responded, I've been reading a lot of material on that and sociopathic behavior. It is blanking unreal, my brother. My ex, see you next Tuesday, is a God not nice textbook. I hate having to dance like this. Verbal dance. Manson was blacklisted in the music industry after a number of women accused him of physical, mental, and intimate A-word, including his former fiancée, Westworld actress Evan Rachel Wood. He sued her for defamation in March. Although the vulgar text did not come in during the trial, Manson's name did repeatedly crop up with the Aquaman actress's team, painting her then late husband, pharmaceutical addict, I think I can say that word, I'm not sure, who went on white powdered fueled binges with the heavy metal rocker. Yeah, they probably did. That's Hollywood. That's probably what they did. After a 6-week trial, the 7-member panel found that Heard had defamed Depp by penning a Washington Post op-ed referring to herself as a victim of domestic A, and awarded him $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive. The judge reduced the punitive damages award to $350,000, the maximum allowed under Virginia law. The jury awarded Heard $2 million in her countersuit, finding in her favor on a single claim that Depp's attorney, Adam Waldman, had defamed her in a statement to the press, calling her allegations a hoax. My question is, wouldn't you then sue Adam and not Johnny? I don't know how that works, but if that's the representation... Anyways, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. Just questioning. Both sides are appealing the verdict. Okay, guys, let's dive in because, like I said, this is a topic I find very, very interesting, and I've got some opinions and some points of view on it. So the more time goes on, and this is why, like, you guys have heard me lately talk about Evan Rachel Wood and Manson. I'm going to be, and I've said on repeat, I'm not taking a side there yet because we don't have enough info. I know that so far there are 2 red flags. One is that Manson dated her when she was 18 and he was in his 30s. That's a red flag right there. That is a power imbalance, period. And she came from A-word herself. She came from an A-word environment and jumped into that. Red flags all around. Red flags because, as I've said, the brain isn't fully developed until you're 25 or your late 20s. Those areas of cognitive awareness when it comes to the decision-making process, right? And weighing consequences, as well as there's a whole life experience that will create a complete power dynamic and power imbalance. You don't know who you are at that age. You have no experience in the world. You barely know anything. So you are ripe to be taken advantage of. Doesn't mean he did anything wrong or illegal, because legally he could date her, but that's a red flag. The red flags I see from her are that we have seen her fake these FBI letters. And we have accusers now saying that they felt coerced or forced to say statements about Manson. So I'm going, but to me, none of that is enough to make a informed decision. And I'm not going to paint Manson as a victim, and I'm not going to paint the other people as victims or whatever. I'm not doing that until I have the info. I'm not just going to jump on a bandwagon because it's popular opinion. And right now, because everybody is outraged about what they learned with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and how she acted, a lot of people are going to be jumping onto that bandwagon and just saying he's innocent, and they're going to skew everything they see to that level. I'm not going to do that. Just like I'm not going to do that here. And so it is interesting. I will say Amber said there wasn't a fair representation on social media. I think people were reacting to what they saw, but I think now that we have more information coming out, and look, they are appealing, and Amber says there was information, there was evidence I didn't get to put in, I'm going to stay open. We know she's a turd. We know she lies. We know she's faked evidence. I'm not saying that she hasn't, but I will be open to all evidence. But I also think with this situation, at the end of the day, we know what's what. And at the end of the day with this situation, they both A-worded each other, and she lied and was an awful person about it. And she did all kinds of manipulative things. So I think that people, their opinion is pretty set there, and mine is set from what I've seen to an extent, but I'm open to different pieces of information. And also, I just do think it is a little unfair how we are portraying one over the other. So like in this article, it's like they're both trying to protect an image, both of them. That's how that works. Now, I also want to talk about this exotic dancing thing. You guys know I'm not somebody that adheres to any of those behaviors. You could say that, and I've had some people in the comments talk about my shirts lately and my as I call them, my chesticles, Because, so you guys know I've talked about this. I've done a lot of hormone balancing. I had estrogen dominance. So, and as a result, doing that the last 3 years, my body shape changed. One day I'll show you guys some pictures. I used to be teeny tiny up here, right? Well, I had like a between a C and a D cup. And I was super, super tiny. And then I was all hips, butt, thighs. Didn't matter how small I was. That was it's almost like a cartoon, very exaggerated. But since going through hormone balancing and dumping estrogen from my system, these grew. So this is almost a double D. I'm like, how is that? And then a lot of my curves at the bottom disappeared. Any of that, my legs shrank. So same with my bottom, everything shrank up. And in fact, for a while, my curves completely disappeared. And that's kind of sad. I'm like, I look like a little boy. It's coming back, right? But in saying that, that's why I'm having all these issues with dresses and stuff, because nothing really fits right. So I'm trying to navigate that. Because I kind of thought, well, as I continue to shrink, this will go away. It's not. Anyways, I'm talking about exotic stuff. So I feel like I'm one of the few YouTubers who didn't go down the OnlyFans route. And I also want you guys to understand, this is a video where I'm not here to judge. I am not here to put her down for her past. I'm not here to put down intimacy work. That's not what I'm here to do. But I want to give a perspective on this that I think most people don't think about and is interesting. So first of all, why is any of this a surprise? This is what people in Hollywood do. Hollywood is very much a intimacy, not nice cult, guys. This is what happens. This is what happens to everybody. Model. Like, unless you go in the industry and you have money or connections, or typically both, you're going to go in there and you're going to work awful jobs and you're going to be subjected to that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Johnny had a past in that. And that's not a put down. Because here's the thing. This is how I look at it. Everything is so tough in the economy right now. If this is what you have to do to get by, do you all day, every day. Especially if this is a situation where you need to feed your kids. I'm not judging you. But let me tell you something that does kind of bother me. It bothers me that, okay, first of all, I thought the feminists were all about female empowerment, including intimacy work. But we want to keep this from the public so we can give the image that she is fighting for domestic A. But how many people who are in the intimacy industry have to go through domestic A? It is not a safe, depending on what, actually no, I can't even say, I was going to say, depending on what type of work you do. It's not a safe industry, guys. And it's because of stuff like this. People can, when you deal with intimacy, right? Especially if it's intimacy under false pretenses or deception. We can argue, well, if you're paying for something, it's not. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'm talking about the way the mind and the psyche works. At the end of the day, naturally, as human beings, in my opinion, we are supposed to connect emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and then the intimate and physical parts come into play with that. Now, we've lost sight of that. And you can argue all day, every day with me, and that's fine. You can have your opinions. These are my opinions. And my opinions are coming from how I think the healthiest relationships with yourself and with other people are formed. When you are forming intimacy, but think about it. What if you were just paying somebody to love you as a person? Get intimacy out of the way. I'm paying you for your friendship. Think about it from that perspective. How interesting that is. How we would look at that as very P word. P word is people who are coming to take advantage, right? It's not children. I'm not talking about P word for children. I'm talking about like when you're taking advantage of somebody. So here's something that I want to throw out there that I've talked about. A lot of women, I think, have been conditioned to believe that doing intimacy for money is a form of empowerment. And here's the thing. Again, I am not judging anybody's decisions. I am not. Life is hard. Do what you have to do in that moment, right? However, here's my question. If people could have the same amount of money, right? And people say the money's great. Awesome. What if you can make that same amount of money and not do any of that? Would you still do it? Now, some people would. Some people do like the thrill and the attention. Some people, do like, and that's fine. But most people wouldn't do it. If flat out, here's the money. You don't have to do it. And why? Because deep down in a soul cellular level, what we're all looking for in everything we do is love. That's it. We're looking for love. Period. Point blank. End of discussion with ourselves, with other people, with partners. And to sell that, it ends up making things very, very complicated and can make things unhealthy for everybody. Because again, think about it. Would you want to have a friendship where you're bought and sold? So why don't we think of intimacy that way? So here's my thing. What's my whole point in all of that? And to go into all of that. And nobody ever talks about it from that perspective. So let's go into this. What is my point? My point is to say I'm disappointed as a society that things have gotten so bad financially that we've had to convince ourselves, and we've allowed the media to convince us, that selling the most intimate parts of us should be normal, acceptable, and okay. Let me tell you and again, this is not a judgment on this type of work. Let me tell you where I'm coming from and what I see. What I see is, what if we just had unlimited, endless amounts of whatever it is you wanted and needed, and you would never have to do something like this? Most people wouldn't. Most people would not want to engage in this type of behavior. And I'm not saying they're not going to want to go hook up with people sometimes or do one-night stands. It's your business, right? That's not what I'm referring to, but I am talking about in terms of selling. So where am I going with this? I see a world in which we can have everything we want and need, and money doesn't have to exist. It doesn't have to exist. If everybody has everything they need, why does it have to exist? What is money but an energy exchange? We come up with a better way to do energy exchange. These are some of the messages that I have. And you might think, well, that's impossible. No, it's not. 3D printing is the baby step to 5D printing. And what is 5D printing? Think about Star Trek. It's just technology to manifest instantly whatever it is you want or need. Clothing, food, houses, shelter, medication. But then we take it a step further. So then we have technology that just wipes out most illness, which it does exist. We just don't get access to. When you break it down like that, things like this don't ever have to even happen. So that's what I work towards. I don't work towards judging anybody who gets into this. Believe me. This is my 3rd month I have not paid rent, guys. I have not paid rent. And you know what? At first I was terrified. I'm at peace. I'm at peace. I also have the faith that everything will work out the way it needs to. Everything will work out the way it needs to. So understand, I'm in a situation where if I were this type of person, I might go do something like that. I'm not going to. That's just not me. I couldn't. I'm way too shy, and it's just on a soul level, I can't do it. It's just not something that I can do. I don't judge anybody. But my point is, I think instead of us being brainwashed that we should do things that are unhealthy for ourselves and think that it's some form of mental or emotional satisfaction involved, we should look towards, why don't we make the world the place we want it? Why don't we demand the technologies so we can all have what we want? And that's what I work towards. So I wanted to just throw that in there because this is something I'm very passionate about. And now I want to know, what do you guys think about all this? Does it change your opinion either way about Amber being an exotic whatever? It doesn't with me, and I'm going to defend her a little bit, guys. I don't think it means anything because that's all of Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood. You want to get mad and judge her for that? Get mad at every single actress. And then let's go a step further. Why don't you get mad at every single actor and actress who takes a paycheck from the people that are paying them, and they know those people have done R-word behavior or P-word behavior with women and children? They play make-believe for R-wordists and P-words. They take checks from these people, knowingly. What's the difference? All right, guys, if you like this video and you want to keep hanging out, which I would love to have you, make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you can come chill and giggle with us and see different things, and you'll get perspectives you might not hear other places. Also, guys, $100 gift card giveaway. Very simple. All you have to do, like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share that content, and watch the video from start to finish. You're entered and eligible. Do it for every video. This was way too long. Thank you for listening with me, but these are topics and things that are very near and dear to my heart. I'm very big on, we need to create the best, healthiest possible society, and I am not smart enough to be able to build those technologies or have them in place, but my goal is at least to talk about it to get everybody's minds open for the beautiful world that, in my opinion, is just about to come, that I will never stop creating. Why is that? Because you are love and you are deserving of it, simply because you exist. All right, guys, take care. Lots of love, lots of blessings. Till the next video, I'm giving everybody hugs. Mwah! Kisses, stay safe. Y'all, as always, your girl. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.